All right, Philadelphia Eagles 7-round mock draft. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to spend more time on the first couple picks and just kind of blaze through the last ones. I'll give my reasons, but we're up here at pick 22. For me, positions I'm targeting in the first round are corner. I really like this corner class. I would be targeting them. O-line, I wouldn't be against like a Troy Fatanu or Jackson Powers-Johnson. Those guys who can kind of play that interior, I wouldn't be against. And then I wouldn't be too shocked if they look at receiver, if like a Brian Thomas or A.D. Mitchell, if they really like. But I think it's really either corner, O-line, or an edge rusher. I think edge rusher is the third position with Josh Sweat coming back, but Hassan Reddick could still be up on the trade block. So like Alea Latu, Jared Verse, if one of those guys starts falling, I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles try and pounce on that. But for me, with how this board's falling out, right now it's between Cooper DeJean, who can kind of play anything. He can play safety, he can play slot, he can play outside. I think he could slot outside, and maybe he plays a year behind like Darius Slay and some of the dudes we have here, but he could be a dude that easily takes over for Darius Slay next year and becomes that corner. Or what I'm going to go ahead and pick is I'm going to pick Troy Fatanu here. He can play tackle out of Washington. He could potentially be our Lane Johnson replacement, but I think he's also could be a hell of a guard in the league. And I think he's just the best O-lineman available. You know how he loves taking O-line. As much as I love a corner there, I just know what Howie likes. He likes his O-lineman. Troy Fatanu is a hell of a lineman out of Washington. I think that's just great value there. So we're going to go with him. Now we're up pick 50. I think this pick is easy. It's Edgerrin Cooper or Peyton Wilson. I get the Devin White signing. I think you can really tell how much someone knows football by how they react to that Devin White signing. I know I love the upside with Devin White and the athleticism and what he could be as a former top 5 pick in the NFL draft. But, let's be honest. The dude got benched for KJ Britt last year. Like, the dude just hasn't been able to put it together. And I'm not putting all my eggs in Devin White and Nakobe Dean. So I'm going to take Peyton Wilson out of NC State. He's a hell of a linebacker. We need another future linebacker. Devin White's not the long-term replacement. I don't mind like the upside signing of it, but like if how he's playing is Devin White's going to solve our linebacker, I think we got bigger issues, and I still think we need to take a linebacker, and it's Edgerrin Cooper or Peyton Wilson are the dudes you want in this draft class. So we're going to go Peyton Wilson there. Now we're back up pick 53. This is a pick where I've been kind of torn. I definitely think receivers on the board. If you want to go like a Roman Wilson, Jalen Polk, even maybe Xavier Legg, I'd rather like Jalen Polk or Roman Wilson are two receivers we could really use. They could be our wide receiver 3 day one. I like both of those two dudes. Another dude I'd be really interested in is Jatavion Sanders, JT Sanders. He's more of like a freak athlete, developmental tight end, but he can come in, play behind Dallas Goedert. Everyone's always talking, this is when Dallas Goedert's the same age as Zach Ertz was when we drafted Dallas Goedert. So they definitely could be looking to get his replacement. So JT Sanders, the dude, I'm not too worried about interior. I guess we could use interior D-line. I wouldn't be against Braden Fisk with Fletcher Cox retiring. I was kind of, every time I did a mock draft, I kind of like assumed Fletch would be back. But Fletch isn't back, so I wouldn't mind a Braden Fisk. I just, taking a D tackle at 53 who's going to be like behind Milton Williams, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. I just don't know because I'm a big fan of some of the more depth guys and like Tui Pelotu and Ojimo. I'm a big fan of those two dudes. So I don't need to push it. Looking at edge is another spot. I think Jonah Ellis is another dude who could be good value here. Like I said, I'm kind of assuming Reddick's gonna be gone. We don't really know, but just for the value. For me, it's between Roman Wilson and JT Sanders. I'm going to take Roman Wilson, get us a third receiver who we know can win. I know they signed Devontae Parker, but, let's be honest, Devontae Parker's a dude. We all know who he is. He can play some valuable snaps, but, Roman Wilson's a future answer at that position who could be our receiver 3 for 4 years. Really good player out of Michigan, and he's just great value there. Now we're up at pick 120. Let's see who we got on the board. Eric All, I know we needed another tight end. I really like him out of Iowa. He's staring there. We haven't attacked corner yet. So looking at the cornerback market, Elijah Jones is a great athlete out of Boston College. Tested really well at the combine. I know Kalen Carson was a dude who a lot of people were really high on early on. He's kind of fallen down a little people's boards, but he's still a really good player. Dwight McGlothern's a dude I like targeting later in drafts. That's just like a good athlete, kind of like a Howie dude we can build in. If we didn't take Fatanu, I love taking a Cooper Beebe, BB here because he's just a solid. He's a little bit undersized, but just a really solid guard who could step in and compete with Tyler Steen day one. But I already took Fatanu, so I don't know if I need to target O-line again. Another kind of on the same lot. Malik Washington, another receiver I would love to target. If not, where do we pick next? We don't pick until 161 next. So kind of follows my. I'm really torn between Eric Algin, that backup tight end, and Mo Kamara because I love Mo Kamara. He's gonna be I'll spoiler alert. He's gonna be one of my defensive gems. I love Mo Kamara out of Colorado State. He had one of the highest. Yeah, I think he led like FBS in pressures this last year out of Colorado State. He balled at the Shrine Bowl. I'm gonna take Mo Kamara. I think we could still use some more depth. He's a bit of a bigger defensive end. He's not like because we have our smaller dudes and like. Who can't really play run defense. Even Josh Sweat can't really play run defense. But like we got Hassan Reddick, Nolan Smith, Bryce Huff. Those are all smaller dudes. Mo Kamara is not like a huge D end, but he has a little more size to him. So he would be kind of play. We kind of have Bryce Huff, Hassan Reddick, and Nolan Smith is why I think we trade Hassan Reddick are all kind of a similar build and those lighter pass rush dudes. So we need another dude on the more of that Josh Sweat kind of bigger build. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Mo Kamara. I think he would be a great fit there. Now we're up at pick 161, and Eric All is still there. So we're going to take Eric All. He's going to be our tight end 2, kind of competing with Akwebanon there. For that tight end 2, I think he's a hell of a player. Kind of build him up behind Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert still got a couple more years. He's not going to be our tight end 1. But we can kind of build up behind Dallas Goedert and hopefully take over for Dallas Goedert in a couple years when it comes to it. Now we got 3 more picks. We're just filling out depth at this point. I love Tyler Davis, man. I talked about Tyler Davis in like my summer scouting last year. He's just a solid player. He's not like this crazy athlete. He's not a crazy pass rush. He's not this stout nose tackle, but he's just a really solid D tackle, man. He knows the fundamentals. He's a big guy. He's just we draft him and we know it's kind of like Moro Ojimo last year where like I don't know how Ojimo fell to the 7th round, but like you're just like he's just a hell of a player. He doesn't have that elite upside, which is why he's not going to be like a super early pick. But if we have like an injury to like we know Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis can't play like tons of snaps. But we're going to need a rotation. And if Tyler Davis has to come in for a couple snaps, I'm not going to be like, oh, Tyler Davis is out there, he's going to get killed. Now, Tyler Davis comes in, I'm like, okay, he's going to hold it down for a couple reps while he's in there. So I think that's going to be a great pick there. Now at pick 172, look at how the board's falling out. I wouldn't be shocked if they target a running back just because Saquon's obviously the starter. Kenny Gainwell is going to be coming up for a contract soon. I can't see them giving Kenny Gainwell a contract, so maybe bring in another. I like Tyrone Tracy here if we're bringing another running back, a crazy athlete out of Purdue. I like Jalen Simpson at safety here. We could still use some safety depth. We got Chauncey Reed. And that's about it. Sidney Brown he tore his ACL late in this season, so I don't know when he's going to be back. But we need some, we need some safety help and / slot corner. And who I'm going to take is Ryan Watts. Ryan Watts out of Texas, kind of like a slot corner safety kind of build. He's a crazy athlete, man. Ryan Watts is a great athlete. Go check up. I mean, he's got incredible track background, good combine. I mean, Ryan Watts is a great athlete, a little bit undersized, but he's a dude that could kind of be our Chauncey backup, I know that's kind of what we hope Sidney Brown, but like I said, Sidney Brown's hurt, and like, who knows? If we have an injury, we're screwed at safety. And I like Ryan Watts. You know how he loves his athletes. He's a great athlete, so I think he could be a nice little backup there, even behind that safety. Now we're back up, pick 210. This is just getting depth. We can still attack running back if we want with a guy like Frank Gore Jr., who's can be really good in the pass game, Frank Gore Jr., and that's so kind of similar. I like Andrew Coker as a tackle. We already kind of took our tackle back up, so we don't really need it. If we want to attack, I shouldn't have. I love Trey Taylor, man. If we didn't just take a safety, I would be taking Trey Taylor in a heartbeat right here. Trey Taylor is a dog out of Air Force, man. I love Trey Taylor. So he's a dude I would be targeting. A couple late round dudes I like in the secondary. I like Trey Taylor, Dominique Hampton. You guys know I love myself some Tyler Owens, crazy athlete, and Kenny Logan. I mean, all 4 of these safeties, I would be happy if we took them late. I already attacked safety, so I'm not. We're looking at corner, a couple of dudes we target late. I think Daquan Hardy could be an interesting name. I really like Jarius Monroe out of Tulane. He's another guy that could kind of play safety or corner for you. I guess looking at what we could use, like I said, running back. I think we could still use another linebacker. You know what? I'm going to take another linebacker because, like I said, right now, I mean, our linebacking core is like it's Devin White, Nakobe Dean, and Ben Van Sumeren. So I got Peyton Wilson. So hopefully you have like Peyton Wilson, but like Devin White's on a 1-year deal. I think you can still just use some depth. I'm going to take Curtis Jacobs. Like I said, we know how he loves his athletes. Curtis Jacobs is a freak athlete at Penn State. I can't remember exactly what his broad jump was, but his broad jump at his pro day would have been the best broad jump among all linebackers at the NFL Combine. So, like, Curtis Jacobs is a great athlete. He's another Shrine guy. So, just you can see. I think what we get Howie. He in the late rounds, he wants to take shots on athletes. Ryan Watson, Curtis Jacobs are those shots on athletes, and then we get some more solid players that we know can play early if they need to. In Kamara, Eric All, and Tyler Davis in the mid rounds, and then obviously your first round, you're getting your elite talents. Anyways, that's gonna be it for the Eagles 7 round. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, check out all my other content if you're enjoying, and I'll see you for the next one.